Life doesn't always give us dry wood. Sometimes the altar is drenched, the sky is dark, and every circumstance tells you it can't burn. But 1 Kings 18 reminds us our God is not limited by conditions. 1 Kings 18-24. Elijah said, "You call on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord. The God who answers by fire, he is God." Elijah stood before 400 prophets of Baal, calm and confident. He wasn't guessing who God was. He knew him. That confidence didn't appear overnight. It was built through communion. He could call on God publicly because he had been walking with him privately. When you walk with someone every day, you know their voice. You know they'll answer when you call. That's the kind of intimacy Elijah had with God. So when he said, "Pour water on it," he wasn't testing God. He was revealing how sure he was. He wanted everyone to see that faith doesn't fear the flood. He said, "Make it harder, because the God I serve can still set it ablaze." 1 Kings 18:33-35. He arranged the wood and said, "Fill 4 jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood." They did it again and again until the water ran around the altar and filled the trench. Elijah knew the fire wasn't his to start. It was God's to send. His job was obedience. God's job was outcome. Listen, confidence comes from communion. You can't have confidence in a God you never talked to. Elijah didn't panic because he had just spoken to God a few minutes earlier. He was a man of integrity, a man in sync with God's will. Amos 3:3. Can two walk together unless they be agreed? Elijah's heart agreed with heaven. What was on God's heart was already in Elijah's heart. That's why he could pray boldly, because the will of God was already living inside him. That's the posture Jesus modeled too. John 3:30, he must increase, but I must decrease. When your heart says increase that I might decrease, God's power flows freely. You stop striving and start surrendering. And surrendered hearts still call down fire. So I ask you, where are you limiting God? Where have you decided this can't burn? Maybe it's your business, your health, your marriage, your faith. You've looked at it and said, there's too much water on it. It's too far gone. But God says, I can still set it ablaze. Luke 1:37. For with God nothing shall be impossible. Elijah didn't just pray for flames, he prayed for glory. He expected God to do exceedingly abundantly above what anyone imagined. Ephesians 3:20. Now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. That same power works in you. You carry divine authority because the Spirit of God lives inside you. Stop praying small prayers to a limitless God. Elijah didn't ask for a spark. He called for a consuming fire, and it burned up the stones. So when you pray, don't ask for what matches your resume. Ask for what matches His power. You're not just asking for a job. You're asking for purpose that surpasses your degree. You're not just asking for provision. You're asking for overflow that feeds nations. Wet wood still burns because the power of God defies logic. Faith says, even if it's soaked, He can still do it. Courage says, even if I'm surrounded, He'll still show up. Confidence says, even if it looks impossible, He's still able. James 5:16-18. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Elijah was a man just like us. He prayed, and heaven gave rain. Did you hear that? A man just like us. That means the same fire that fell on Mount Carmel can fall in your home, your business, your family, your generation. Maybe today you're the altar, soaked in doubt, heavy with waiting. But if you'll rebuild it, if you'll pour it all out and say, Lord, not my will, but yours be done, His fire will fall again. Because the Lord still answers by fire. 1 Kings 18:39. When all the people saw it, they fell on their faces and cried, the Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God. Wet wood still burns, not because of the wood, but because of the God who sends the fire. So today, rebuild your altar. Bring your fears, your doubts, your delays, and trust that His presence will meet your surrender. Walk in confidence. Stay in communion. Let your heart stay in sync with His. Let your prayer always be, increase, Lord, that I might decrease. Because when the will of God lives in you, the fire of God will fall through you. And when it does, the world will see what Elijah saw, that even soaked, even surrounded, even shattered, wet wood still burns. This is Daily Bread Network, reminding you that no matter how soaked life gets, wet wood still burns.